Welcome to Fantasy Hockey Thoughts Week 10, March 22nd to 28th. Let's jump right into it. How do you like my Quebec Nordiques shirt, by the way? Just got it today. It's very shiny. Love it. Let's talk about some injuries, key injuries really quickly. Starting with John Gibson, who's on the IR for the Anaheim Ducks. Pacioretty is day-to-day for the Vegas Golden Knights. He was pulled last minute on Sunday, the 21st. Boston has got a handful of players on the COVID list, including Pastrnak and Krejci. Dallas, Radulov is out for them. He's day-to-day, as well as Dumba for the Wild, Yamamoto for the Oilers. Toffoli is out. Blackwood is out for the Devils. Couturier has mysteriously disappeared before Saturday's game. We'll find out what's wrong with him on Monday, I think. Malkin is week to week, more on him later, and Tanner Pearson is out for the Canucks, amongst others. Now, there are 56 games this week. Monday, Thursday, and Saturday are the heavy days. Monday, there's 10 games. Tuesday, 5. Wednesday, 6. Thursday, 11. Friday, 5. Saturday, 11. And Sunday, 7. Try and stay away from these following three teams because they're only playing twice this week. And I'm talking about LA, Toronto, and Vancouver. However, with a team like LA, they are playing Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you happen to have a few LA players on your roster, maybe you want to hold on to them until Monday or Wednesday night. Now there are 20 teams who are playing 4 times this week, and that's the most. There's no teams playing 5. And those 20 teams are Winnipeg, St. Louis, San Jose, Philly, Ottawa, New York Rangers, that is, New Jersey Devils, Nashville, Montreal, Florida, Edmonton, Detroit, Dallas, Columbus, Colorado, Chicago, Calgary, Buffalo, Arizona, and Anaheim. Now, 2 of these teams have 3 off days, so with no back-to-backs. So we're talking Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and those teams are the Anaheim Ducks, who are playing Minnesota and St. Louis twice apiece, and the Montreal Canadiens, who are playing Edmonton 3 times and Ottawa once. So you might want to focus on those 2 clubs if you can. Let's talk about some depth adds from each position here, starting with the goaltenders. I don't have many written down, beginning with Jack Curtis Joseph Campbell, who's only played 4 games. So maybe I shouldn't be that excited. But he's got a .965 save percentage. He had a shutout in his last game against Calgary. Maybe his last 2 games. But he's had sort of a reoccurring injury. He's been out twice. It's been related. He seems healthy now. So with Frederik Andersen, who's out, it could be his net to run with. More on Andersen later. However, the Leafs are only playing twice this week. So there's that. Hudobin and Ottinger, the 2 goalies for the Dallas Stars. You may want to grab one or both of those guys even, because Dallas has got a lot of hockey to play. Remember, they didn't play for the first couple of weeks of the season, and then there were it was raining locusts and lasers and snow and witches for 1 week there, and the arena didn't open. So yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll base everything on winning percentage, and every team won't be able to finish all their games. But some food for thought. And then there's Cal Peterson from the LA Kings, who I feel like I'm mentioning every week. He's been doing really well. And that's it. I'm going to move on. Let me know who you picked up or who you like in the comment section below when it comes to goaltenders. Defensemen. This is also a hard one. It's slim pickings, right? I've got at least just over a handful here to talk about. Jamie Drysdale for the Anaheim Ducks. Maybe just put him on your watch list. He's only played 2 games. We don't want to get too excited, right? He had 1 really good game where he had his first goal and an assist. They have him on the power play as well, so there's that. Noah Hanifin for the Calgary Flames. You want to take a flyer out on him. He's been playing really well under Sutter. Justin Schultz for the Washington Capitals. PK Subban for the Devils. Matt Gritslick for the Boston, who's on that number 1 power play unit. Josh Morrissey, who's been hot recently for the Winnipeg Jets. Shattenkirk, of course, runs the number 1 power play for the Ducks. And Duncan Keith, who might be available. Chicago is playing 4 times this week, I want to say, against Nashville and Florida. So, yeah. Something to think about there. That was the last of the defensemen. Let's move on to the forwards. Starting with Gerard McCann for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Malkin is out, so he's now the default number 2 center, playing in between Rodrigue and Kapanen. Some other centermen you could look at, like Chandler Stevenson, for example, from the Vegas Golden Knights, Adam Henrique from the Ducks, Max Domi or Roslovic from Columbus, who have been improving recently. Then some other Flyers you want to look at. Trevor Zegras from the Ducks. Unlike Drysdale, he's been there a little longer. He's been really hot recently. He's on the number 1 power play unit. I believe he's playing on the 3rd line. So, yeah, some food for thought there. Jake Voracek has 9 points in his past 10 games for the sliding Flyers, who are not in a playoff spot right now. Man, they miss Niskanen. I don't know how many thousands of times I've said that, but who else here? A couple of Detroit Red Wings, Mantha and Fabry. You may want to take a flyer on. Now, I won't say they got shut out in their last game, but in the past 10 days or so, they won their games against the Hurricanes, the Stars, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, and if I didn't mention it from defensemen, you may want to look at Hronik from Detroit as well. Moving on with forwards, the New York Rangers, first round 2018 draft pick Vitaly Kravtsov. Maybe you want to put him on your watch list because his team was eliminated in the KHL playoffs and he's now quarantining in New York. Jaden Schwartz, he's back for 2 games so far from injury and is playing with Shen and Tarasenko. Jason Robertson, he's hot recently. I believe he scored a goal on Sunday against Nashville. We want to take a flyer out on him, as well as Jesse Povari. He's kind of up and down. Yanni Gourde's been really hot lately for Tampa Bay. Jordan Kyrou, well, he had 1 hot game against San Jose, and then not really nothing much before that, but maybe this is the beginning of something. Anthony Duclair, who's very up and down for Florida. Maybe you want to take a flyer out on him. Jonathan Drouin for the Montreal Canadiens, who, again, playing 4 times with 3 off days, has a 3.8 shooting percentage right now, and his average is 9.7. Maybe it's time he breaks out. Richard Raquel has only had 2 points in his last 6 games. He's cold, but this is a streaky guy, so maybe he's on the verge of another hot streak. I picked him up just at the right time and dumped him just at the right time not so long ago. Curtis Gabriel from the San Jose Sharks, who's been on every fighting highlight for the past 2 weeks. For the penalty minutes alone, he's kind of worth it on an extreme depth ad for your team. Tyler Mott shouldn't be available anymore, but he shoots, he hits, he blocks, and he puts up points. I got him a couple days before he came off the IR. Wayne Simmons for the Toronto Maple Leafs just got back from an injury a couple games ago, I want to say. He's on the number 1 power play unit, and he's on and off that first line with Matthews and Marner. Not the plural, but just a Matthew and a Marner. Kapanen for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's on that number 1 power play unit. Yes, he's very hot and cold, but something to talk about there. Pavel Buchnevich for the Rangers has been really hot recently. Eli Tolvanen, he's very up and down, but he is on that first line and number 1 power play unit for Nashville, and he had a goal on Sunday against Dallas. Then there's J.G. Pajot. You can never go wrong as a depth ad with him, although I think the Islanders are only playing 3 times this week. Where are you? Islanders, yes. 3 times. And last but not least, Dylan Larkin is only 75% owned. I mean, he's kind of up and down. This year hasn't been his best, but maybe he's due to break out at any time. They are playing 4 times, 2 games against both Nashville and Columbus this week. Now, last but not least, I just wanted to quickly look at players you should trade for. Kuznetsov from the Capitals. He's got 7 points in his last 8 games. And now he's playing with Ovi at 5-on-5. Crosby, if you can manage to pry him away from someone without Malkin, he's 1.22 points per game. In the buy low category, I've got Andrei Svechnikov, who's got 2 goals in his last 14 games. Is there a hot streak coming? Frederik Andersen, who I've been talking about, who's day to day, week to week. The longer they can keep him off and Campbell can keep healthy, the better for whatever injury he has and his confidence too. So if you're doing really well and can afford to stash this guy, think about trading for him. Sell high on Chris Kreider of the New York Rangers. He's currently got a 22.6% shooting percentage. In his career, he's 13.4. And then I've got some candidates you should drop here. Last but not least, starting with Carter Hart. I dropped him about a week and a half ago. Eventually, this kid's going to break out of it, right? Somehow, but his confidence is just gone. I mean, in 20 games, he's got an .875 save percentage. And his last 8, he's got an .821. And then anyone not named Eichel in Buffalo, really. And maybe Taylor Hall. I mean, if he gets traded, perhaps that'll spark his productivity. And then I got a few other players here in Gostisbehere from Philly. Hoffman from the St. Louis Blues, who doesn't seem to be much use if he's on the second power play unit or third line. And then there's Comtois, who's gone dead cold for Anaheim in his last 6 games. That's it. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, which will alert you when my next video comes out. And please, in this crazy world we're living in right now, don't forget to be kind to each other, and I'll see you soon.